Do you ever get the feeling that you are above average intelligence? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the signs that might indicate that you are thinking on a whole new frequency compared to everybody else. Number one, you're incredibly curious. You always have been. You're always wondering how things work. And when you hear any narrative, when you hear any opinion, you always want to know why. Majority of people, what happens is in their life is once their basic needs are met, their physiological needs are met, their security needs are met, their social needs are met. At that point, the vast majority of people stop seeking the truth and wisdom. But people who have an incredible sense of curiosity continue to pursue the truth. They want to know how things work and why they work the way they work. They also want to know what else has been considered. So if you're a person who has extraordinary curiosity, there's a high chance that you are hovering at a much higher level of intelligence than the masses. The second sign that you may also be often above average intelligence is that you struggle to fit in most social forums. And that basically means that you are unable to get intellectually stimulated by the majority of the conversations that people are having. Let's face it, majority of people right now are having conversations that have to do with other people, or they're having a conversation about sports, or they're having a conversation about the latest movie or the latest trend. I mean, if you look at the most watched videos on YouTube, the most watched videos on YouTube are cat videos. And so that's indicative of where the majority of people, their attention is. But if you're the type of person who really finds it difficult to fit in, you find that in the vast majority of forums, you get bored and you feel isolated, there's a pretty high chance that you may be of a much higher intelligence than the average people. The third sign that you may also be of above average intelligence is that you struggle with small talk. You want to get deep and meaningful quickly. You enjoy conversations that are challenging. You don't really want to just talk about the weather or the sports. You're not interested in celebrity gossip. You actually want to talk about the real things in life. All of this indicates that you may also be of an above average intelligence. The fourth sign that you may also be of an above average intelligence is that you have a very small circle of people that understand you, people that you connect with, and people that you confide in. You find it very difficult to be able to get along with the vast majority of people. And sometimes you doubt yourself and you wonder if there is something wrong with you. There may not be anything wrong with you. It may be that you just want to know more than the average person. You may be interested in creating more or doing more. You may be interested in understanding more. And so all of this occasionally results in you feeling isolated from the rest of the people. But you do have a small select group of people that understand you, and maybe even those people are considered strange by society because they're not a part of the mainstream thinking. The fifth sign that you may also be of an above average intelligence is that you question authority. A majority of people are quite happy to go along with the government narrative or the corporate narrative or the societal narrative or the cultural narrative or the parental narrative. You, on the other hand, you wonder if the people who are giving us these instructions and telling us how to live, you wonder if they actually have our best interest at heart. You wonder if they have the wisdom that is necessary for them to be able to give this type of advice. So you're a little bit suspicious about authority, and you really don't like to follow blindly what the authority figures are saying. The sixth sign that you may also be of an above average intelligence is that you have a deep interest in topics that very few people talk about. I personally know people who are always talking about reincarnation or epigenetics, people who are really interested in history or emotional manipulation. So if you're the type of person who's interested in topics that are outside of the mainstream, and you are constantly researching and evaluating those topics, that may also indicate that you're a person of above average intelligence. The seventh sign that you may also be of an above average intelligence is that you are no longer feeling the pressure to please people and to blend in with society. You're starting to already understand that society is stuck in a matrix, that a lot of people are just blindly doing what they're doing in a form of hypnosis, and they're not really asking the important questions in life. But now you're starting to get to a point where you don't feel like you need to blend in with society. You don't really feel the need to please any people. You're starting to feel a sense of detachment from how the society operates, and you're starting to wonder if you have a different purpose and a different cause in life. So with all the points that I've just mentioned, do you feel that you're the type of person who may be operating at an above average intelligence? How does that make you feel? I'd love to know how you manage those times when you're feeling a little bit isolated, or you're feeling misunderstood, or you're feeling a bit segregated from society. Because all the people in the past, if you study historically, people who have achieved any type of greatness, people who have questioned society, a lot of them went through an enormous amount of suffering as they started to understand that there were a lot of things that society wasn't questioning. But a lot of those people also ended up finding a way, their true calling, their true purpose, and they still made a positive impact in the world. So my question to you is, how are you going to manage this isolation? How are you going to manage these mental challenges that you're going through? And despite all of that, what is your plan to still be able to make a positive difference to the world?